Hello everyone, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. Bald here. Board is away, so I'm going to teach you how to play the Royal game. The Royal game is by Free Company, and it is the oldest known game, apparently, known to man. Found in Mesopotamia. There's a whole historical booklet that came with the game as well. I flipped through it really quickly in the unboxing if you want to see that. But we're going to look at how to actually play this. So this here, all these little pieces, these, if you don't watch the unboxing, this is for the dice tower that came with the game. I'm not going to use that for the rulebook rundown, just so everything can be illustrated much more clearly. Make sure that is centered for you all. Perfect. So put that off to the side for now. All right, these are some quick reference cards that come with the game. So very, very handy reference cards there. It's good. Has a nice picture of the map on the back here as well. So those obviously will come in handy during the game. But overall, this is the rulebook. This is going to be a quick rulebook rundown. The game looks very simple. It's definitely going to be one of those games that is deep with strategy, but shallow with rules, which is great. I did get the advanced little minis here during the campaign. So I'm not going to use this for the rulebook rundown, just so I can illustrate things a little more clearly. Instead, we are going to use the glass pieces. But in here, there are things I do need, which I should probably keep separate. And those are these dice. Go. Other pieces of the what do you call it? Boop, boop, boop. Dice towers in there as well on the bottom. So keep these out to the side, these out. And what I love is the game box is actually part of the game. I love that innovation. Did the same thing with, what is it? Dice Forge. They did that, where the box is part of the game. So I've done it in an intuitive way. It's a lot of fun. There are two sides to this board as well. I don't know what the different sides are, what they mean, but if they offer different play styles or options, that would be cool, but it might just be the artwork. So we're going to start on this side, and we're going to jump right in. All right, so for the introduction here, the Royal game is a strategic game for two people. Match in a battle of minds to dominate heaven and earth. Embark on a journey through time and play a modern interpretation of one of the oldest board games. Travel to the ancient mystical land of Mesopotamia, engage in a battle between spirits, and meet the ancient deities. So the components, you have your dice, you have your player pieces. Each die has a gold-colored tip and one silver-colored tip and two blank tips. So that I can show you here. We have a silver tip, gold tip, and blank tip all right there for you. Boop. Okay. Play board. That's what this is, the player board. The game board was carefully designed to resemble the more than 4,000-year-old original. Love it. So cool. Setup. Each player takes the seven playing pieces of the same color or design. They each take 2 d4 dice. The board can be set inside the box with the side you intend to play on facing up. Store all unused components inside the box like we have. So one side's going to get one color, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these reds. And instead of dice, we'll go black with red, of course. And the other side is going to get the other set, which are these blue pieces. Yeah. Go here with the set of these. They each take 2 d4 dice. So I guess the color doesn't matter. You could do one of each color. You could do a light and a dark. It doesn't really matter, but we'll keep it black, black, white, and white. Okay. Easy peasy. Board sections. So it's going to go over here, the different board sections. So the player board is divided into Earth, which is the larger section here. This is Earth. The bridge, which is the bridge here, and to Heaven. This is Heaven. Players start with their pieces on the Earth section and progress to the Heaven section. Okay, so this is probably actually going to be orientated more like this when you play, because you're both playing here and trying to get this way, it seems like. So I'll move these over for now. Wunderbar. All right. The board tiles. The playing board tiles have specific names and attributes. Okay, so what do we have here? So what we're looking at here is it's going over the different sections there. So these two, I have no idea what that says. Okay, so these two and these two are forts, and they are the same symbol. Those are forts. This is Hill on Mardar, Hill on Ishtar. These two are entrances. And these are the lesser realms. These are nothing. So the goal of the game. The objective in this version is for a player to dominate the board, both heaven and earth at the same time. They must have their pieces positioned on all 4 forts, which are the Rosettes, simultaneously to achieve victory. So who goes first? The first game between the two, the player that has traveled closest to Mesopotamia goes first. In the subsequent games, the player who lost the last game gets to choose who goes first and who goes second. And how to play. The reason why we're all here. The player who is on their turn plays accordingly to the turn sequence. So for this, we'll say that blue is going first, red's going second. So turn sequence. You roll the 2 dice to start. Okay. Then you're going to choose 1. Regardless of the dice roll result, you may spawn a piece on the lesser realm entrance. So one of these, right? Yep, let's see, those are both lesser realms. Oh, sorry, the middle is the royal realm. I forgot to mention that. That's a royal realm. So, regardless of what you rolled, you can spawn a piece onto one of the lesser realm entrances. So either there or here. Or you can move pieces according to the dice result. On 1 colored tip, move 1 space for 1 tile. On 2 colored tips, move 2 spaces for 2 tiles. Or 2 pieces, 1 tile each. So here I rolled just the gold tip, so I can move 1 space. Depending on the dice result, this is another option. You may, or sorry, I'll illustrate the other ones as well. So 1 color, you can move 1 space. If I had 2 colored tips, I could move 2 spaces with 1. Or if I had 2 on here, I can move 1 space with each. Then the other option is, depending on the die result, you may spawn a piece on the Royal Realm, Tile of Ishtar, Tile of Marduk, or on an empty space next to your piece. So that's depending on the die result. So there must be a combination of the colors and symbols. So 2 gold, 2 silver, a silver and a gold, where you can, or 2 blanks where you can spawn next to certain pieces on certain spaces. So then end the turn and pass to your opponent. So pretty simple so far is roll the dice and then spawn or move. Movement path. The pieces can move forward or backward, but must follow the general path of movement. Ah. Okay. So you cannot go into the middle here. Oh, and there's no bridge. That's cool. Let me get this up closer to you guys so you can see here. So do you see how here there's like white, but there isn't? You have to follow the bridged paths to be a traveler. You cannot go across where there is no bridge. Great. So that means you can come down over, this can come down over. You have to get to here to be able to move all the way up this way. And then from here, you can go side to side. Okay. And you can move forward or backwards, but you have to be on one of those paths. Does the other side give you alternate paths, I wonder? No, just alternate artwork. The other side gives you alternate artwork. This side's more fun. Okay. Movement of pieces. So move pieces according to the dice result. On one tip color, move one piece for one tile. On two tips, move one piece for two or two pieces for one. We went over that. A piece may not move over an opponent's piece, but it can defeat it if it moves onto the same tile. You cannot have two pieces on the same tile. You may move a piece over your other piece if the piece can move enough tiles to end its movement on an empty tile or a tile with the opponent's pieces. So, that is saying here is if this guy happened to be here and I was able to move two, I cannot move over like that. I can, however, move onto the space to defeat it, it says. Okay. If this was my piece here and I had a movement of two, I can do that, but only if I have a movement of two. I cannot land on the same space as my tile or my piece. Playing first pieces. If you have a piece on the entrance and no other piece on the board, the opponent cannot spawn a piece on the entrance occupied by your piece. So if the other player board, in this case, were to go, he cannot spawn here and automatically defeat me. He would have to spawn on the other entrance. Or if the dies dictate, somewhere else. Okay. Combat. When you move a piece onto a tile with the opponent's piece is removed from the board and returned to their pool. When a piece defeats a piece, its movement ends, regardless how many tiles it would have moved. So the illustration earlier, I had two movement, and I told you I could not go over this piece. I can move into that space, but once I defeat this tile or this opponent, I stop moving there. I do not continue on. You stay right where the battle happened. Your other pieces can use the rest of your available movement if your roll results allow. So just again to illustrate, if this was the same situation here, I could go, if I had two movement, I can go one, defeat his piece, and then two to move that one. Cool. All right, so dice roll combinations and results. So if you roll a blank and a gold, or if you roll a blank and a silver, it's just one move. There's only one colored that you rolled, you get one move. If you roll a silver and a gold, you move one piece of the two tiles, two pieces of the one tile, or you can spawn on the royal realm. Okay, so one of each color means you can spawn into the royal realm, which is one of these three here. And the whole thing, so you can spawn anywhere in here if you were to roll those. If you roll two silver, do your typical move one piece of the two, move two pieces up the one, or you can spawn on the tile of Ishtar. And tile of Ishtar is where? Where is Ishtar? Tile of Ishtar. This is the tile of Ishtar. So, two silvers, you can spawn right here onto the tile of Ishtar. Two golds, you can spawn onto the tile of Murdoch, which is right there. Boom. I kind of wish that they had this one in silver just to differentiate, but silver and gold. Gold is closer to heaven, I guess we'll say. If you roll two blank spaces, spawn a piece onto an empty tile that is next to one of your own pieces, and you cannot move. Cool. All right. You may always discard the dice result and spawn a piece on a lesser realm entrance. Okay? So if you had two blanks, if your piece was here, you can spawn this guy onto a spot next to one of your pieces. But you cannot move them. It's just a spawn. Two blanks means no movement whatsoever. And if you don't want your results at all, you can always spawn onto one of the entrances. Specialty tiles. A tile that allows you to spawn a piece instead of another action. See the lesser realm entrance. Okay. So you may defeat and remove an opponent's piece that is on the entrance tile if you spawn a piece on the same tile. What? Earlier just said... Oh, okay. So earlier when it said if you had a piece here, someone couldn't spawn in there and kill it, that's only if that's your only piece on the board. If you have another piece on the board somewhere, then you can choose to spawn here to defeat that piece. That's good to know. So you may defeat it and remove the opponent's piece on the entrance tile if you spawn onto the same tile. Cool. So that is the Lesser Realm entrance. Forts and Rosettes. So these spaces here. Excuse me while I snag a drink of my very Vermont black coffee with maple syrup. Okay. Fort tiles are strategic positions on the board. They give a player another role and are crucial for conquering heaven and earth. There are 4 forts on the board, marked with a rosette symbol. When a piece moves onto this tile, the player may take another turn and start with step 1 again, which is the rolling of 2 dice. So once you move on to the rosette, you get to go again. Important, conquering 2 rosette tiles in the same turn allows only 1 extra roll. So that means in the same turn, that means if you had a piece here and here, and you had the 2 movement doing this and that, you still only get to go, again, 1 extra time, because on your turn you took over 1 or multiple rosettes. When holding both forts on the earth section, here, the player dominates earth. And while holding both forts in the heaven section, here, the player dominates heaven. By holding all 4 forts, the player dominates both heaven and earth and wins the game. Tile of Ishtar. The Tile of Ishtar is the most powerful tile in the game and represents the heavenly queen, Ishtar. It protects your forts. When a player has a piece on this tile, their other pieces on fort tiles are safe. They cannot be defeated by the opponent's pieces as long as the piece remains on the Ishtar tile. On rolling 2 silver tips, the player may spawn a piece onto this tile. That's cool. So, if I had pieces on forts, and if I had one here, these 2 cannot be defeated as long as that piece is there. So until red takes out my piece, red will be stuck in here if they were in this area when I took this over. That's cool. Because again, they can't attack it while I have a piece there, and they cannot move over. The Tile of Marduk. Here, the snake. Tile of Marduk is a powerful tile that represents the king of gods. Marduk, it allows you to spawn a piece furthest up the board on the bridge between heaven and earth. On rolling 2 golden tips, the player may spawn a piece on this tile. So all it does, so this one just purely is great because when you're here, you're literally 1, 2, 3, 4 away from getting one of the forts in heaven. And you have to spawn on earth and get up to heaven to be able to take those over, it seems like. The Royal Realm, which are these 3 spaces here. The Royal Realm consists of 3 tiles that represent other major divinities and give the player a strong starting position in the middle of the royal game. On rolling 2 different colored tips, a player may spawn a piece on any of these 3 tiles. Boom, boom, boom. You dominate heaven if you control both forts in heaven. So if you control both those, heaven is dominated. While you dominate heaven, you may move a single piece for 3 tiles when you roll 2 silver or 2 golden tips. Ah, cool. So if you have 2 pieces on these forts, if you get 2 colors, 2 silver or 2 golden tips, they have to be the same color. It can't be 1 and 1. Then you can move a piece up to 3 times. Where normally it would still only be 2. And not to get confused, having that, if you roll a silver and gold, you do not get the 3 movement. It has to match in color to be able to get the 3 movement. Cool. You can also choose to ignore that perk. You don't have to move the full 3. Dominating Earth. You dominate Earth if you control both the forts in Earth. Boom, boom. Cool. When you dominate Earth, movement of your pieces is not stopped when your pieces defeat an opponent's piece. Very cool. Your pieces moving 2 can defeat an opponent and keep moving. So, if I were to control Earth, if board had a piece there, if I rolled and got 2 movement, normally you come here, defeat the opponent, and you have to stop. But while controlling Earth, I can go 1, defeat the opponent, and move for my second piece. That's pretty cool. Repetition. A player may claim a draw if the same move / spawning occurs 5 times in a row. Okay. Cool. Very, very cool. I like it. I thought there was going to be something involving... Yeah, I mean, I guess these wells are just meant to, like, hold these. It seems like maybe. Even though, like, it came with baggies, I assumed for them. Or maybe that's where the dice were supposed to go. I don't know. But I thought it was going to be something where, like, when you defeated somebody, you put them in here. And it was going to be the first person to defeat the opponent would win. But that's not the case. You're trying to take over the 4 spaces on the board, which is a very fun, strategic, again, easy game to learn. Strategy-wise, depends on who you're playing. So we'll put these in there. How about that? Boom, nice. So you have your quick reference here. Let's see if it goes over all that information. So the goal, perfect. Turn sequence, roll 2 dice, choose 1, spawn, move, or depending on the die result, spawn a piece on the royal tile, Ishtar, pop up, goes over all that, end turn. Dice combinations, has them all right here, boom, 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 boom. What it does not tell you is what the specials are. So that would have been nice to have on these quick references, would have been the specials for each area. So we know this means those can't be defeated. I'm going to test my knowledge here. Having both the earth sections down here means I can defeat an opponent and keep moving. Having both the heavens up here means if I roll 2 of the same color, I can move 3. Murdoch does nothing. The Royal Realm people do nothing. These do nothing. I believe. Let's see if that's right. Marduk. Just a spot to spawn. Rolling 2 golden tips. Yep. 2 silver tips. Puts piece on Ishtar. Makes the Earth Fort safe. Royal Realm. Yep. Downing Heaven. Move single pace. 3 tiles for 2 silver, 2 gold. Yep. Earth. Cool. Yeah. All right. Easy enough. Let's get all this put away then. There's 1. Into 2. Right down there. We'll do this. The dice tower pieces. The royal game. We are of Earth. All right, cool. Very simple, very easy. It'll definitely be probably one of our tournament games that we end up doing, just because it plays so quickly. It'll be a very interesting one to get on the board as well and to play. No cards involved really, so I should have a pretty good chance when it comes to just the strategy aspect of it and adapting to what's going on. But you'll have to stay tuned and find out. We may get a playthrough of it just to get one up because it's brand new. It'll be relatively quick to do for you all, so you can at least see it in action, and then we'll really dive into it and get going some other point, like I said, probably for one of those strategies. But I have another unboxing rulebook rundown to do for the Project L universe in Square One. So definitely check that out on YouTube as well. We're going to be doing an unboxing and rulebook rundown there by myself. And then soon to come, we just got Labyrinth Chronicles in by Awakened Realms. So stay tuned for that one too. An oldie, but an upgraded goodie. Thanks for joining me here at Bald and Board Games. I am Bald, and I will see you at the table.